Hello, welcome to OJ Studios. Please enjoy this week's chapter of The Unknown by Lacey and Olivia Julius.
I woke up and looked down at myself. I was still Brooke. I was still a girl for another day. I sighed and pulled off my covers and got up. I began to gather my things so I could take a shower, and then I stopped. On my dresser there were photos that I have never really looked at before. They were Brooke with different friends and family. I walked over to the dresser, picking up one of the photos. It was a picture of Brooke at what seemed to be her birthday party. She was surrounded by friends, all smiling and laughing. I recognized some of the faces from school, but the girl in the center looked so much like me now, yet so different. It was a stark reminder of the life I was now living. I set the photo down and picked up another one. This one was of Brooke and her mom at the beach. Brooke was wearing a pink bikini. They both looked happy, enjoying a day in the sun. I couldn't help but feel a pang of sadness. This was Brooke's life, her memories, and I was an intruder in her world. Taking a deep breath, I set the photo back down and continued gathering my things for the shower. I had to focus on the present and figure out what to do next. When I got done taking my shower, I walked back into my room and started to look for what to wear. I took a deep breath and started to look beyond the t-shirts that I wanted to take refuge in, and instead I looked at the tops that had V-necks. I pulled out a light blue V-neck top, hesitating for a moment before slipping it on. The fabric felt different, softer against my skin. I glanced in the mirror, adjusting the neckline and feeling a strange mix of vulnerability and curiosity. Emma had suggested this, and I trusted her judgment. Maybe it would help me fit in more and make things easier. Next, I chose a pair of dark jeans that fit well and seemed to complement the top. I slipped on some simple flats, feeling a bit more confident with my appearance. The outfit was different from what I was used to, but it wasn't too far outside my comfort zone. I hoped it would help me blend in better at school. I went downstairs. Mom was already left for work, so I had the house to myself until the bus comes in an hour. After grabbing a quick breakfast, I took a moment to check myself in the hallway mirror before leaving. The girl looking back at me was someone I was beginning to recognize, albeit reluctantly. I gave myself a nod and stepped outside, waiting for the bus. The ride to school was quieter than usual, or maybe I was just more lost in thought. My mind replayed last night's conversation with Emma and the plan to try and figure out a way to reverse Mrs. Whitaker's spell. I was anxious about the day ahead, but also a bit excited to see if dressing differently might change how I interacted at school. Stepping off the bus, I felt a few curious glances thrown my way. The new top and the slightly different demeanor seemed to catch some by surprise. As I walked through the halls to my locker, I even caught a few smiles and nods from students I hadn't interacted with much before. It was a small change, but it felt significant. As I made my way through the freshman commons, I got to my locker. Shayna was there leaning against it, a surprised look on her face. "Brooke, you look different today. New shirt?" "Yeah," I replied, trying to sound nonchalant. "Just felt like trying something new." Shayna smiled. "Well, it suits you." Shayna stopped aside and I saw that my locker was decorated just like hers and the other cheerleaders were. "You like it?" she asked in a perky voice. "I got here early this morning to make sure it was perfect for our newest squad member." "Yeah," I said in surprise. Shayna then stepped in front of me to stop me from opening the locker. "So, I told you everything I hated about cheerleading and then you decide to start cheerleading?" she asked. "Yeah, it was a sudden decision," I admitted, keeping my tone light. "Plus, Emma really didn't give me a choice either." Shayna raised an eyebrow, a smirk playing on her lips. "Just make sure you're not biting off more than you can chew. Cheerleading's a lot tougher than it looks." I'll keep that in mind, I said, feeling a mix of gratitude and nervousness. It was clear that Shayna was more observant than I had initially thought. As we walked to our first class together, I could feel eyes on us, more so than usual. The change in my attire seemed to have sparked some curiosity, not all of which I was comfortable with. It was a strange feeling, being noticed in a way that wasn't tied to my achievements on the football field, but rather to how I looked and acted as Brooke.